this dude is a legend. Let's see, Derby, West Brom, all the way to Houston, the Houston Dynamo, Whitecaps, Jamaica, and now adding to that resume, he's adding the Cooligans, because you know he's about to shut it down. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one, the only, Giles Barnes, everybody.
I got a little bone to pick with you, actually. Don't hype me up after you've been dodging me, you know. Like, before, let's get off the jump first and foremost, yeah? Like, don't try and gas me up in front of everyone after you've been, like, mocking me for like months, you know. Like, give everyone the backstory. Don't try.
So we're gonna edit all this out, Giles.
We met at Florida Cup over the summer. We were going to go see Everton play against Arsenal. Arsenal didn't show up, similar to like the FA Cup match just recently. So Arsenal
hilarious. No need. Yeah.
Anyway,
we can't hear you from all the way down there in the Premier League table. So go ahead, Christian.
So we were working with the folks from Florida Cup, and we got to host the charity game, the All-Star game, and that's where we met. We met you while we were there in prepping before the match, and I would say we hit it off. But we exchanged numbers. We were like, "Yo, you got to do the show." And look, I'll be honest, there was a slight delay. To get you on.
Florida Cup. When was Florida Cup? I can't remember. Refresh my memory, innit?
June, roughly?
Look, Giles, I didn't want to bring this up, but every time I said, yo, let's get Giles on, Christian was like, no, not yet. And I'm like, I don't know why you're delaying that.
You know what? I know that fact as well, because Alexis, you've been hitting me up on the line. Christian's been close, you know? Like, so, yeah.
I'm just trying. Look, I just respect people's boundaries. Alexis is a little different than me, that's all.
Alexis, you know, he knows I'm a foodie as well, so you know we've been sharing the food stuff and all that, you know, so it's been good.
Why do we eat the same but look so different? It's very upsetting.
Dude, I'm glad you're finally on the show. It's an absolute honor. Like I said, we've been watching you for years playing MLS. At least for me, that's when I first got introduced to you. You know, scoring on my team and, you know, getting frustrated with you. But then after getting to meet you, I'm like, yo, this is one of the coolest down-to-earth dudes that this league has ever seen. The one thing I want to start with, what's going on right now for Giles Barnes? Because your last Instagram post, I just saw you got your USSF coaching license. You are the level B, I believe. That's the first one?
Yeah, well, you can. It's the first one I've done.
Okay.
I was lucky enough, fortunate enough that they go off of where you've played. So, you know, I'd accumulated enough amount of years where I'd reached a level where I could just go straight into the B. So I was able to jump to that.
Okay, so what was that experience like? What are we expecting? Giles Barnes, head coach of a club anytime soon?
Or is the next time your head coach, while you're playing, says, yo, do this, you'll be like, look, I got my B license. That's not how it's done.
I got this. Step back now. I got this. You know what I'm saying? I heard enough of your rubbish. This is not how we're doing it. This is how it's going to work. No, honestly, you know, fellas, it's about knowledge, right? So obviously my career is coming towards the end. I'm fortunate enough that I'm still getting offers to go and play. But I've been coaching now for almost a year, you know, privately, and I actually own a club in Orlando, a youth club that's growing really quickly. So I've done that, and it's kind of been my COVID project. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I've not officially hung up the boots, but I know there's still some magic left in there somewhere. Maybe if the right opportunity comes along, we'll wait and see, you know. But I'm just trying to figure out my next path anyway. And I feel that I've known football my whole life, right? Like, I don't really know much else, to be honest with you, in any kind of sense, so I might as well just go and follow it now, innit?
Hey, I respect the humility, you know?
Everybody else's COVID, project is making sourdough bread. Giles Barnes started a wildly successful youth club. So what are you doing?
That's your COVID project, the sourdough bread.
My COVID project is eating sourdough bread. I ain't trying to make it. I'm trying to put that butter and jam on it.
I feel it, man.
What I want to talk to you about your career, because you started wild young. If I'm not mistaken, you signed your first professional contract on your 17th birthday.
Yeah, so, I mean, I officially signed on my 17th birthday. I actually had my pro promised to me from the age of 15, so I waited 2 years to sign it. But I already had it waiting. So yeah, like it was a strange one because I was at a different club and they'd already promised me a pro contract and a full scholarship. They took me out of school, which is why I blame that I don't really know anything. I left school at 14.
But this is,
you know,
this is what the English do. I mean, they focus
you know
on one thing.
They tell your parents,
focus
like,
on that.
he's got class and all that, but they're like, don't worry about all that.
Yeah, don't worry about school. We'll figure it out. We've got this IT room. It'll be really good for him. I don't know if I went in the IT room once. I swear. I don't even remember going in there. I remember the first day when they took me and my parents, and they was like, yeah, he'll do his schoolwork in here. I don't remember visiting it again. Never. Not even to check my Hotmail at the time. Nothing.
The next day you open that door and it's just boots and kits and you're like, what happened to all the IT stuff? They're like, oh no, that's just when parents come around.
I'm telling you, it was like the Harry Potter wall or something, you know, when it turns and switches. It was like one of those.
They were like, computers are for virgins. Get this out of here.
I didn't see that. I didn't see it once. I promise. So I got no schoolwork done. Like, you know, jokes aside, I left school sharply. I left. I never got a GED. I never graduated high school. So all my energy was put into football. And then, you know, I was actually at Nottingham Forest, which is Derby County's rival, and Derby ended up buying me from Forest. What was I, 14? I think I was. And part of that was, you know, Forest needed some money at the time, and I don't know what they thought I would either become a professional or not. So it was just one of those things. Well, someone's offering us money for our kids, we'll take it. So I ended up leaving. I went to Derby, and then about a year and a half later, I was traveling with the first team every week, training with the first team, played in the reserves, I think, before my 15th birthday. And it just kind of went up and up from there. So yeah, like I was fortunate. I dedicated a lot of time to it. You get that little bit of luck at someone that fancies you, you know, someone that thinks, oh, he's actually a good player. That's what you need nowadays. But yeah, I just kind of ran with it. And then football took me all over the world and took me to meet you guys, more importantly, you know, the Florida Cup.
Top of the list.
Dodged me for 6 months.
When you got to, like, at least Major League Soccer, it was probably the heyday of why are you going to go? I'm sure you got some like, why are you going to go there? Retirement league this, you're too young and all this stuff. But you kind of came to, I don't know, maybe revitalize your career. And so what was that experience like, kind of like when you first arrived, and how were you kind of like received?
You know what, for me, it was a blessing. Please don't take this out of context, but I was a bit of not a superstar as a young kid, but there was a lot of hype around me, you know. I was playing in the Premier League from 18 years old. I'd had bids knocked back from me from 9-10 million pounds. Like, there was a lot of hype around me, and I got injured really badly. You know, I hurt my knee, and I was told to retire later on that year. So I was only 18. I was a kid. So after having all this hype around me and then going to that, you know, I managed to come back and played a couple games for Derby, and then I went on loan to Fulham. I had this like whirlwind. I was out for like 19 months or something with my knee.
Wow.
They told me I was never going to play again, and I came back. I played 2 games, one against Coventry, I believe, and then one against Man United. And then I ended up scoring 2 goals in the game against Man United. And
that was the cup, right? That was a cup
in
match.
the cup.
Yeah.
In the cup, come on as a sub because I wasn't even fit. You know, I've been out for so long, I wasn't even fit. And then, you know, scored 2 goals in that game. Boom, phone starts ringing again. And there was probably about 6 or 7 clubs to go to, and a lot bigger ones than Fulham, actually. And it's not being disrespectful to Fulham, but for me, I picked Fulham because I was like, man, this would be a club for me to go to. And, you know, it's not too much of a bigger club than Derby. Maybe you play in the Premier League a little bit longer, but it's the same kind of feel. And I'll play. That was my thing. I need to play. I've been out for 18, 19 months. I need to play. Like, I don't know how long my knee's going to last, like if it lasts. So I need to try and make the most out of it. And so, yeah, I went to Fulham. Everything was going well. I wasn't up to match fitness. You know, I've been out a long time, played 2 games. So I kind of carried on, and I played like 6 games. I think I scored like 5 goals against Tottenham, Arsenal, like in the reserves. And Roy Hodgson pulls me before we played Stoke, I believe it was. And he says, you're going to be involved this weekend. Just get through like 50 minutes of this game, last little bit. So I'm buzzing. Ring my dad, everything before. Like, yeah, done it. Like 2 years and we've got to it. We've got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and by the way, without him, I wouldn't be nowhere because I wanted to quit. I was over it. I was like, those days I was not doing this no more.
Wow, I'm glad Roy Hodgson was such an inspiration.
No, I meant my dad. Yeah, I'm not talking about Roy, that's for sure. No, I'm kidding. I've got a lot of time for Roy, man. He's a good guy. And then I snapped my Achilles in that game. Yeah, snapped my Achilles in that game. Well, partially tore my Achilles in that game. and that put me out until the end of that season. I had to have surgery, and then so I had the surgery, and Derby and Fulham couldn't agree on a fee of what it would be, because Fulham still wanted to sign me, but I think at the time it was like 4 million, but I hadn't played the game, you know, and it'd be going on, just mashed up my knee, smashed up my Achilles. They're thinking, no, we'll give you $1 million for $1 million out, but Derby was like, nah, like it's not happening. Like, so went back to Derby. Manager was Nigel Clough. He did some of the most craziest stuff to me I've ever had in my life, to be treated like, as a 18, 19-year-old boy who's just come back from, I was 21 at the time, because it was 2 years on, 2021, to be treated like that after you've nearly, you know, had to retire, for him to go like that and treat me how he did, because I wanted to go and, you know, I didn't know how long my career was going to last, and I wanted to go and play in the Premier League, and he asked me a question. He got me in his office before I went to Fulham, and he's like, yeah, so this club's come in for you. You want to, if you go, even though it's only a loan, if you come back, you'll never play for me again. And I was like, boy, I said, I'm 8, you know, I need to go and play. Like, I want to go and fulfill my dream. I didn't come all this way. Yeah, man, there's football's weird, bro. Like, let me tell you, football's got some funny characters, man.
That's like when your girl's like, if you go out with your friends, I'm not gonna be here when you get back. Like,
yeah, but the difference was, she really weren't there when I got back. I had to go back.
Oh, you meant it.
You were like, oh damn.
Oh,
are you on the phone with a divorce attorney already? How is that possible?
Well, it seems like there's like a level of pettiness or vindictiveness with either coaches or general managers, because I mean, you can talk about this in more detail if you like, but your time, you were supposed to go back to England, right? That was like the
there
plan.
was a promise in MLS,
because you were killing it in MLS at Houston, and it was like the move was just to go back and you revitalize your career, like I mentioned before, and that didn't really work out the way you planned, right?
You know, just being real with you, I almost quit football after a few years I got back. I never felt I never ever felt the same again. I never felt like the same player, and football became miserable to me. Miserable. I couldn't move the same. I didn't enjoy football anymore. So, you know, I went to West Brom, played in the Premier League again with them. And then I went to Doncaster and played in the Championship.
I do want to mention, though, while you were at West Brom, you beat Everton 4-1. But okay, so sorry.
Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, that was a note
just
that
Christians
we
here.
made sure we had to mention, right?
I just want to mention.
Yeah, some of those facts, don't leave them out. If you got them, let's just spill, please, innit?
Yeah.
Please.
I got
it. Make sure, just for him, please. So, so, you know, I come to America because I come to an end. I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I just want to change my life, like, because I just didn't feel the same. I wasn't the same person. I wasn't the same player, like. And it made me, you know, it's weird to say it now, like saying it back then would have been crazy, but now it's so much with your mental, you know. I was depressed for a long time. Like, I was like, you know, I was here, and then I felt like I was rock bottom and could just never get out, like in pain every day. Like, I didn't move the same, even though, you know, people still, he's still good. Like, you just don't feel it. I never recovered. Like, that's hand on heart. I never recovered from it. And so I came to America, and it was a conversation with my dad, because I was like, I'm not doing it for like, well, I'm not doing this no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done. And I was 23, I think. I was like, I'm over it. I'm not doing this no more. Hate it. Hate everything about it. And especially with the press and that in England, and like everyone's always in your face. Like, you can always hear, you know, it's like, what happened to Giles? You know what I'm saying? Like, because we kept my injury pretty under wraps because it was so close to me retiring, and Derby didn't want to leak it and that kind of stuff. You know, maybe at the time, you know, I wish I'd have had someone to talk to. Like, it wasn't family, just so I could unload. You know, there was nights I spent crying myself to sleep, days in rehab when I couldn't move. Like, and it carried on for years, bro. Like, you know, and you know, that's why mental health is so important in football now, because people are like more aware of it. Like, those things are so depressing. You know, you come thinking you're about to get into, you know, playing the Premier League for the rest of your life or whatever, and next thing you know, you're a free agent, and it's like, wow, how did that happen in 2 years, 3 years? And it's just from injury. But yeah, I come to America just to enjoy my life. I was like, yeah, I'm gone. Like, allow it. I'm just going to go and enjoy my football if I can. If not, I'm going to enjoy my life. That's one thing. I always wanted to live in America.
You know what MLS is like? MLS is like when your friends are like, yo, y'all want, this is obviously before COVID. They're like, yo, you want to go grab a meal? And you're like, yeah. And I'm going to be a little late. Everyone's getting at 7. All right, I'll get there 7:15. And when you get there, they've already ordered entrees. You're not allowed to do that. You're just allowed to get a couple apps for the table. And for the table means y'all ordering for me as well. So I can dig in. Mad disrespectful.
Okay, yeah. I learned a lot about food etiquette, restaurant etiquette through Alexis Guerrero.
Do you not? You don't really go out to eat with friends. You're just like, well, who cares? Let's rummage through the park and get some greens.
You want to say like I have no friends that would I could even possibly have dinner with?
No. You have friends, a lot of them, but they're not inviting you to dinner.
I mean, some are okay,
yeah, right?
The health conscious ones.
Yeah, like you're gonna invite Christian. He's gonna judge all the Gucci fritos I'm about to order.
I'm not a judgmental person when it comes to what other people eat. But for
you
some reason,
we haven't had a show for 5 years.
I'm just saying,
a significant part of your personality.
What I choose to eat apparently offends you because it makes you self-conscious. No. All right, you're projecting a little bit. It has nothing to do with me. Okay.
Well, anyway, that's MLS. You're MLS.
Yo, guys, it's Sean Johnson, 2021 MLS Cup champ, NYCFC making history on the Cooligans. Let's go.
I got duped by MLS though. I told you.
The way you told the story is perfect.
Yeah.
And then MLS me over.
Yeah. And then MLS just got that way of just saying, I don't think so. So the agent called me randomly out the blue. He's like, I've got LA Galaxy ready. I'm like, what? LA Galaxy? Thinking, Bex is there. Oh, you start growing a couple of LA? Yeah, I can do the beach. Yeah, sounds like exactly what I need. So anyway, couple of weeks go by, the agent gone quiet a little bit, and then he hits me up and he's like, oh yeah, no, there is MLS do want you, like MLS want you, but Houston Dynamo have your rights. So I'm thinking, Houston, what is that? Texas? Cowboys. Cowboys and steak. Thinking to myself, boy, it's not really much for me out there still. And then end up going out. I speak to the president, Chris Canetti, still a good friend of mine actually, and Dom Kinnear, who's probably one of the most still influential people on me for my career and how he treated me to get me back on track. I've got love for him, big love. Called me, said, come out to Houston. We want to see you, And I was like, what, trial on MLS? And I was like, it's not really a trial, but you've had these injuries and we're in the middle of the season, like we're ready to go into playoffs. We need to see if you can actually play. So I go out, I think, cool. I get there, step off the plane, lava hits my face. It's warm. Don't know what's going on.
Yo, that English blood of yours ain't ready for that humidity, boy.
Oh, listen, I stepped out. I was in the sauna. I was like, oh, no, this is a mockery. How am I going to play in this? Anyway, get down, get into a hotel, put me in a nice hotel, go straight to the game. Boom. Stadium's wicked. I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. And then the next day, we have training. It's the people that haven't trained. So obviously I go in, it's training. And I see people in cut-off sleeves and now I'm thinking, cut-off sleeves in around August. Yeah, all right. Can't be that hot. So anyway, I put my little cut-off sleeve thing on, get outside. Whoa. I'm standing in the oven. Like, this is nuts. Like, what have I got myself into?
You're like, is the stadium air conditioned? Is there anything you can do for me?
The thing is, I'm not fit. Because the season had already started in England and I'd missed pre-season. So I get there and I'm thinking, all right, cool. Let me just try and cruise through to just show your quality in it. Like, don't worry about your fitness, it'll come. And there's just people running around like they're lunatics out there. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if something don't fall to me soon, where I'm on the ball and show I got a little spice about me or something, like I'm in trouble because I can't run. Javon Watson was playing in midfield and I ended up playing with the country as well.
Yeah. And
this man can just run and run. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't run with this man. Are you mad? Like, you lost the plot. Anyway, I actually do pretty well in the game that we play because it's like, not resis and like people who didn't play a lot. But it was on the big field. It was like, I think it was still 11v11 because we had the kids come up and that. And anyway, a free kick falls outside the edge of the box. And I'm like, yeah, this is my time to shine. Let me just bang this in it. So Corey Ash gets to step on the ball and he's like, you want this? I'm like, yeah, I want this, bro. Like, what do you mean? And he's like, what do you want? I said, just roll it to me. All right. Rolls it to me. Damn. Far corner. I'm like, yeah. At least they see I can do a little bit because I can't bloody run today.
Got something.
You've never wanted an ice bath after a match so bad.
Ice bath? I needed more than that. I needed to fly home. What do you mean? Ice bath? I need to fly home.
It's like the first person to miss English weather, you know?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't believe it was a madness. And then so I go and speak to Dom and Chris after, and they're like, yeah, you know, we want to sign you. This is like, you're fit, you're healthy enough, you've shown us enough in a training session. And then the rest is history, really. Got myself into MLS. But again, it wasn't plain sailing for that first like 4 or 5 months. I think I pulled my groin, tore my quad. So I didn't really play much when I first came here, you know, and you know, they wasn't happy with me towards the end of that year. They was like, you know, we can't give you the extension that you wanted, the price you wanted, because you didn't end up playing. So I ended up coming to MLS like on not a lot of money at all, just because I enjoyed it, you know. And then I came back the following season and just completely changed. Like I did a lot of hard work in the off season when I went home. Just tried to change everything, you know, because I enjoyed it. My 3-4 month period that I was here, I enjoyed it so much. Like I have to go back. Like I enjoyed it. Like let me try and do the most I can. If my knee fails me, if my Achilles fails me, that's God. I can't do it, but at least I can be in the most tip top condition. And then went in, and then that year coming back, I ended up top goal scorer. The year after was top goal scorer, MVP, players player, like all that kind of stuff. And that's when I tried to go back to England, and as you said, you know, it didn't quite happen.
You did England to US. Daryl Dike, who played in Orlando, who started in Orlando, is going from Orlando to West Brom, a team you played for. What do you think? How do you think he's going to do? First of all, championship is a very physically demanding league. How would you compare that to MLS? And any advice you'd want to give a player like Daryl Dike, if he were to ask you, what do you think it's like for that transition going from US to England?
Because he went Barnsley, innit? He went Barnsley before.
Yeah. Originally, yeah.
Yeah, but Barnsley's not really like, again, I don't want to sound disrespectful, it's not West Brom. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're playing in Barnsley's team, you ain't getting a lot of the ball, you know what I'm saying? And he did really well in that Barnsley team. He has a lot of attributes that suit England. Like he's big, he's powerful, he's strong, he's quick enough. Technically, he probably needs to, just in my opinion, I think he needs to clean up to be a top striker. But he's got all the fundamentals, right? Like he's big, he can hold the ball. And when he sets it and goes, there's not many people that can catch him, you know? Like, and he scores goals, regardless of whatever, like you think. He went away and scored, 12 goals for Barnsley, came back and scored 14 goals for Orlando. It's really a 30-goal season, you know, in 2 different leagues. So I think he's going to be good, especially with the kind of service he'll get at a club like West Brom, because they got some top players even in the championship, you know. Yeah. So I'm excited to see how he does, honestly. And I hope they go up, because I like to see the stereotype of MLS and English football being obliterated. I love to see it. Like, I hate people that say, oh, MLS ain't this and MLS ain't that, because it's one of the more physical leagues I've ever played in. Like, that's hard to play in. It's hard to play in. If your legs don't go, you don't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't matter how good you are on the ball. You've seen big players come here that are really good on the ball, and he's all right. He was all right. And you think, hold on, he's played Champions League. How's he all right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's not a retirement league. People look at it funny, and there's people coming here now, you know, like Giovinco came here, smashed it, got a massive move again. Yeah. You know, who else has just gone? Chris Muller's just gone from Orlando. Or Almiron, the big one. Almiron went from here. Like, there's a lot of players going over that, and I love to see it, because it's getting the respect it deserves. Like, there's some really good players over here, that not just American players, there's South American players, you know, Africans, whatever you want, Caribbean players, all that are capable of playing. This is just now the platform is being highlighted, because there's been so many good players out there. But now when they go over their countries, you know, people are playing for like Haiti and that, you know what I'm saying? Going to play against big teams, Chile and all that kind of stuff. And they're bossing the teams. Yeah. And people are like, where are these players playing? MLS.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Venezuela, when no one was thinking about that. You know, Joseph Martinez made it hot. Yeah, everyone, you know what I'm saying? They did. He did. Everyone's like, oh yeah, there's got to be some good players in Venezuela now.
Leon what about Bailey. Jamaica? What I was just about to say, what about Jamaica?
You know, Andre Blake, play anywhere he wants, man. I don't care what anyone says. Anyone. He can go and play in any league, in any. I'm telling you, that guy is unbelievable. He should, like, I know he's got a great contract in MLS now and all that kind of stuff, but let me tell you, Blakey, he could have played in any single team I've ever played in. Any team.
Wow.
That's how good he is. But, we couldn't get work permits. We couldn't get work permits for as Jamaicans. You can't. So it's another thing that kills you, isn't it? Like, people can't go over there because I remember, I think it was West Ham or something, Palace wanted Blakey and he couldn't get over because he didn't have a work permit. But there's talent. There's talent in every single country. Don't let and it's cool because MLS has that much of a melting pot and a mix of everything where people can actually stage what they've got, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I love
shouts to the work permit issue that lets us keep some of these dope players out here.
Let it do it for the league. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about going to Europe.
No, we got you.
MLS are paying people now.
Well, Giles, look, we have to get you back on because there's too much to discuss. But we unfortunately we got to move on to the.
We
got
to go to Orlando and just do a whole Barnes long form. That's what we need to do.
We should do it. It's taking you long enough to get me here, so we can always extend it.
So we're never gonna live that down.
Let's get to our Golasso gift. This is your opportunity to celebrate a goal. Alexis will give you a scenario. You can celebrate the goal. We will turn it into a gift that will live on the internet forever. So you can do whatever you like. Alexis will give you a scenario. So Alexis, what do you suggest for Mr. Barnes?
All right, here's the scenario. All right, I know you getting offers. One of the offers you get is a phone call from the head coach of the Jamaican national team. You guys are in 6th place right now in CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. It's looking like you might not make it. But let's say it gets down to that final match. Yo, we need you, Giles. Get down here. We need you to represent your country. You get down there. You get in there in the 90th minute, and you score the same free kick you scored in that Houston Dynamo prep. They rolled it to you, score. But just before you went on, they said, hey, if you score and you make us win this match, we will give you all of that money that you should have been transferred for when you were in England, but you got injured. So all them offers, you get all that lump sum right now. So what's that, about 20, 30 million? You score, you get that 20, you get that 20, 30 all together, all them offers all together.
Goal in the world.
You get $30 million for that goal. How do you celebrate? On the table, I can see his moving. Mad chill.
Okay, you just drinking tea, and instead of using like a coaster, you're just using stacks of money. You know that's
stacks of money.
Just
I wish you could collect all the money that you think you've earned. If you find it, let me know.
All right, let me know. Giles, thank you so much, man. An absolute honor to have you on the show, for real. Is there anything you want to let people know about before we let you go? Anything you may want to plug?
Actually, as I said earlier, I started a youth club in Orlando. We're called FC Highland. I'm actually wearing the jersey now.
Beautiful.
Thank you, bro. It's pretty nice. We designed it, I'll show you the biceps there too. I'm playing. But it's something we started, obviously, during the pandemic. It's going really well. We believe in giving kids opportunities as well. We sponsor and scholarship a lot of kids that can't afford to play. Unfortunately, still the game in America is based on pay to play. I grew up not having to pay to play for football, and I believe that should be. Football's open for everyone. So we're trying to give that back. We also do a lot of work in the community with the Orlando Union Rescue Mission to help homeless women and children. So we're trying to do the right thing by all the kids. Every kid deserves a chance and an opportunity. God is blessing us with a fruitful club as of now that's been picking up speed. So, check us out at FC Highland on Instagram. Show us some support, show us some love. Send some funny stuff on there. You never know, we might repost it.
All right, Giles. You were absolutely beloved in Orlando when we were there. It was clearly obvious. So, I applaud you for all the work that you're doing. But, dude, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody
Anytime.
Make sure you follow us at Soccer Cooligans on all social channels, and make sure you follow at Fubo Sports and subscribe to the Fubo Sports YouTube channel for more clips and full episodes of the show. All right, Giles, let's end the show the way we normally do, as is tradition, so please join us in this. So for Giles Barnes, my name is Christian Polanco.
I'm Alexis Guerreros.
And together, what are we?
The Cooligans!